But Honorable Christians, we've got, where's the mic? Oh, we have 12 minutes on an interactive session. So if we want to ask all the questions and then they must answer, it must be within the 12 minutes. If it goes, it will be the discretion of the chair, and I don't think we want that, no? Honorable Christians?
Can you hear me now? Okay. Thanks, Chair. I'll keep it interactive, and then I'll also request that the responses then be quick because I have quite a few questions to ask. Chair. Okay, so to the Vice Chancellor, the Council, and perhaps even the Registrar. So, still Plaatjie University is quite a young institution, as we know, yet the committee has repeatedly been confronted with allegations of statutory governance lines being blurred. So there are alleged unilateral control over convocation processes, disciplinary decisions, appointments, student affairs, etc. And this is almost, it seems almost as if there is a centralization of these affairs at the university. And my question really is, have they been lawfully delegated? Because this points to serious governance failure and really exposes the university to be at risk. So I'll just rephrase my questions there. With regard to the delegations of authority, which functions are reserved for council, which are delegated to the VC, and if any, are there any of these delegated to the registrar? And specifically here, has student affairs been delegated, or rather lawfully delegated to the registrar? Was it done in writing? And if so, we need that correspondence forwarded to the committee. I'll allow for those three just to answer quickly.
Thank you for the questions, Honourable Christians. There is no centralization. We do have delegation of specific functions to specific environments. With regards to the delegation of student affairs, we have problems in student affairs wherein our Dean of Student Affairs has been exited from the institution, and because of that, we had to delegate somebody else to take over and monitor student affairs, and so that was delegated to the registrar. I'm not sure if there's anything else.
Was that done in writing?
Yes. Yes, it was done in writing.
Okay, further to that, with regard to a suspension that was done by the registrar on the 21st of October, a letter specifically that I saw that was signed by the registrar, was this compliant with university policy? You have clause 6.3.7 of your disciplinary code. Was that in line with that clause? Maybe the registrar can answer there for us.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Yes, we have followed the disciplinary code in terms of the suspension and the reasons for that suspension, and all is within the ambit of the management framework. Thank you, Honourable Chair.
Thank you, Chair. My next question, I'll come back to the whole student support issue because I'm concerned about student support, Chairperson, for the simple reason that recently in the student support services there have been a number of suspensions at the university, and I'm afraid that while the results look good on paper, that might not continue in the future. With regard to your institutional culture, your gender-based violence, your ethics at the university, there has been allegations that a former student leader was implicated in assault, in a gender-based violence assault case. And it now has come to light that this very same student has been employed in the registrar's office without a formal procedure. No posts were advertised, the student was simply employed in the registrar's office. And more concerning, it also came to light that the victim at the time was excluded from the university. And, I'm concerned that this speaks directly to the university's ethical framework and commitment to a safe campus. I mean, we heard in depth about the campus being made safe, etc., but it has come to light that there have been a number of gender-based violence assaults on campus. So, if true, I would like a few answers there. Can the university confirm whether a former SRC president that was implicated in a 2023 assault case has in fact been employed by the university without the necessary processes, specifically in the registrar's domain, and that this has happened without any valid process, as I said? And I also just want to know by the university, how was the victim's case handled? And I think more importantly, where is that victim now? Why has she not completed her course? What support was offered? On what grounds was she excluded or suspended and not brought back? Has the council, and I'm speaking to the council, I can't remember who the council member was, has the council in fact been informed of this case, and has there been an independent review of how gender-based violence and misconduct cases are handled at SPU? And then really, what is going to be done again? What is going to be done about the victim? Where is the victim? Is the victim going to be allowed to come back? So I also just want to know about your gender-based violence policy framework. So you have a gender-based policy framework that I think was developed in 2020 or approved in 2020. Now, I think we need that submitted, and we need to know if that has actually been implemented at the university, and whether your gender-based violence committee is functional. You also said that you had a gender-based violence desk. Can you tell us a bit more about that? You didn't, I can't remember it being mentioned. If you had, can you just refresh our memories? Is it working? How many cases are reported? Or how many cases were reported in a year, if so? Okay.
All right, thank you. For some of the questions, I will refer Honourable Christians to specific members who would be better placed to respond to it. I want to make it absolutely clear, we do not exclude students based on something that has happened to them. That would be inhumane. That is not what we do. So in this case, we will investigate very carefully. But if the student exited, it could have been by her choice, or it's an academic exclusion. We do not exclude students for any other reason. There is, of course, financial exclusion, but that we manage and discuss with students the options they have to be to remain a student, and we provide as much financial support as we can. So I will ask the registrar perhaps to respond to the, I think you said former SRC member who was implicated in a gender-based violence issue. We have policies that we follow. When students are involved in certain activities or accused, we investigate and we look at what the outcome is, and we respond based on our policies. But the registrar can respond a little bit more detail there. You also asked about the gender-based violence policy framework. We can certainly make it available. You may recall that our COO mentioned that it is being reviewed because we want to update with more recent developments. I think we want to specifically increase reference to different communities that may not have been sufficiently referred to, like LGBTQ and so on. We want to add to that. We do have a gender-based desk, a GBV desk, and I'll ask Dr. Kangue to maybe give you detail on that. So I'll start with the registrar and then...
Before we go there, the mic's still with you.
Okay.
What you're saying, your policy on sexual harassment on GBV, what does it say? It says you investigate.
No, we have a number of policies, right? So when there is sexual accusations
Yeah,
against
the
someone,
sexual
we have to
harassment.
investigate.
The question was on sexual harassment by your former SRC.
Yeah.
What is your policy saying and what did you do?
So I am not aware of that particular case. I only joined the university in 2023. I wasn't informed, so I cannot give you details of the specific case. What I can tell you is our policies say we investigate. We then look whether the evidence is clear that this person is guilty. If they are guilty, we take the necessary action. We bring in independent chairpersons to also advise us. So I don't know the specifics of that one case. That's why I'm asking that the registrar give you that kind of detail.
Yeah, but that policy itself then doesn't make sense. Because I'm accused of sexually harassing a female student.
Yeah.
So your policy says you must investigate and get to a conclusion. In the meantime,
Yeah.
I am, as a perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, am attending the same classes with the victim. You see, that doesn't make sense. In fact, members, if you remember, the reason why one student killed herself at Nelson Mandela last week was because of this. The student being literally forced to be in the same vicinity with the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, and she could not take it, and she took her life. Because I don't think the people who make these policies contextualizes what they are writing. You just write things, and there are too many of them. Because it doesn't really make sense that you are saying to me, this victim must attend the same class with the trauma that they go through every time they see them. Doesn't really make sense. It makes. I honestly want you to send us this policy.
Yeah.
Send it to us so that we can see what does it say, because DDG, it does not make sense. We can't have policies that honestly does not protect the victim, because this one, if it's written this way, then it's a big problem.
So perhaps if I can just allow to correct, I said we investigate, but the person is suspended in the meantime. We do not keep them on the campus. We certainly do not insist that the victim and the perpetrator are in the same environment.
Yeah, that's not what you had said. That's
No,
what
I said we investigate. I neglected to say that we suspend. It is in the document that we suspend the person accused.
Yeah, then I think Honorable Christians will have a follow-up, because...
Okay.
So, Chair, then I'm really concerned, because then it seems to me as if the policies are not in action here. Because on the 23rd of April 2023 at 11:34, this student wrote a letter to SPU stating that she does not feel safe at the institution, that she is asking the institution to urgently intervene and remove this person from her immediate vicinity, because he is still being housed in a campus or in a housing facility near me. And this was not done. And this very same student wasn't expelled on academic or academically excluded. This student was expelled based on disciplinary action. So it would be well within our questioning to determine on what disciplinary exclusion or disciplinary actions the student was expelled.
Yeah. No, thanks, Chair. Honourable questions, yes. It turned out we got an independent chair as well to chair the disciplinary, to answer the question on disciplinary. And through the investigation, whatever, it turned out that both students were perpetrators and victims in the GBV matter. So the person who might have given the Honourable Christians the information neglected to point out perhaps that she too assaulted the other person. And that was what the investigation, and thus the disciplinary actions, yeah.
Have another microphone. Is this?
Hold on. So your policy says, and I want you to go with me step by step. Your policy says somebody open a case against me. I have not opened a case against that female. You, during an investigation with your independent chairperson, find out that there was another, or there should have been a counter allegation. That is a later point. The point here is, your policy says you immediately suspend. Did you or did you not suspend immediately?
We suspended, Chair, but I can't recall whether it was immediately. What we can do through you, Chair, is make available.
Yeah, but
that,
you don't have to
report.
recall,
Yeah.
register, because if you follow process, if you
We-
follow your own policy,
Yeah.
you don't have to recall.
Yeah.
It's not something you can forget.
Yeah.
Somebody reports a case.
Oh, there was suspension.
Somebody must not apply their mind.
Yeah.
That's
No,
not
there
what your
was.
policy says.
Yeah.
So it means, she's right, Dr. Christian, and said, it means you don't follow your policy, because if you say, I can't recall whether we did it immediately or not, it means somebody uses their discretion, which is not what you are supposed to do.
Yeah.
In
no.
this case, you don't know what happened.
Chair, I know there was a suspension. I know that both students
No.
complained at the same time, and that is why it was investigated. And that's why I say through you, Chair, that we can make available that information.
Okay, so you are saying to us, both students complained at the same time.
At the same time, Chair, that is when we receive that complaints from both students, and we can make that information available, Chair.
And then this lady wrote this message saying, I'm not safe, because this person is still at the same rest.
Chair, I don't know. I'm hearing from now.
Chairperson, we didn't get the answer whether the student who was in the alleged case, the SRC member, is in fact employed in the registrar's office.
Yeah.
Just a yes or no. Just quickly, because I have a lot of other questions.
A student assistant, Chair, not an employee. A student assistant assist with certain preliminary tasks. Yeah. Now I'm just careful in terms of the designation of employee, Chair. In terms of our labour legislation, there aren't requirements from the department. No. He gets a stipend. Yes.
Employed.
He works a certain number of hours through your chair. Yes, he works a certain number of hours, Chair. But there are regulations from the department as well, Chair, in terms of when it comes to student assistance. Chair, for the purposes of this committee, yes, he works for the university. Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm mindful of the labour legislation of our country through you, Chair. Thank you. As well as regulations by the department when it comes to student assistance, Chair.
Yeah, Chair, I'm very concerned about this gender-based violence case, and the fact that, you know, really we're not getting the answers that we are requesting. The student is employed. there. We've gathered that he gets a salary. When you get a salary, there's a contract, the student is employed. The other question I asked is, what happened to the young lady who was suspended? We don't have an answer, which simply means that the university does not know. I can tell you what happened to the student. All right.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. The young lady was not excluded, Chair, from the university. That was at the time offers were made in terms of the student support through the counselling services, acknowledging what the young lady went through. She opted not to use those services at the time. There's nothing stopping the young lady from returning to the university, Chair. Thank you. She exited, Chair. She went back, the last I heard, she went back to Gauteng from where she came, Chair. Thank you. There was disciplinary action taken against the SRC member, Chair. He was suspended for a year from his studies. The young lady, I'm not sure, Chair, what the disciplinary was against.
Sorry, I think the question is, the other one gets expelled and the other one gets employed. That's what you're saying.
No, it's not what I'm saying, Honourable Deputy Minister.
So our mics were short of mics, but yeah. So the question is, the lady opens a sexual harassment against
GBV case.
GBV case.
Yes, Chair.
against this.
Both of them opened GBV
problem.
case, yeah.
No problem. We'll get to the other one. So this lady opens a case of a GBV against this SRC man. What is the verdict on GBV? Again, you appoint independent people. What did you do? So there's a case. What happens? You can answer. What happened?
Chair, I must again check whether it was on the GBV itself, whether this member was found guilty, or on which basis was
So
he
you
found
don't know.
guilty.
So you don't know.
Chair, I know it was a finding, a sanction. I don't know the actual details
Yeah, no
of
problem.
that sanction at this point. Like I said, again, that can be made available.
No problem. But my worry is that we're not talking about breaking of glass windows. We're talking about GBV, which is a big problem here. And for you to say you don't know what happened there, you're creating a problem for us. Because it's as if we want to treat this GBV as a small matter. No, we do. In fact, from where we're seated, like I said, when we ask you questions, we do have this detail. And we know that that this guy was found guilty on this thing of GBV. And then after, you guys then employ him. And then you call it some regulation. You say, no, regulation, I must be careful. But you have employed him. He draws you call it a stipend, no problem. He draws a stipend. For us, he draws a salary. And this is how it looks like. COO. This is how, or register. This is how it looks like. It looks like the powerful, or those who are connected to you guys, can do anything, including GBV. And then they will be protected, rewarded, and the victims are going to be taken up. This is how it looks like. It looks like. And in fact, how they say to us that this person, you can't tell me you don't know whether they were found guilty or not, when they are hired in your office, you should have said, this person, I know them, there was this case against them, you are putting them in my office, or I want to put them, I need to know whether women in this environment are going to be safe. You have a responsibility to defend these young women there. But you are saying to us, you are not sure. No, I don't know whether it was for this specific thing or not. That in itself is a stressful thing to me, because you are saying to me, even if somebody would have been accused of rape, you don't mind to hire them to look after your children. Because that's what you are saying. That's what you are saying to me. And it's a worry. That's what worries me. That you don't see... Sorry? No, hold on. Okay, give him the mic.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'd like to add some perspective to this matter. What the registrar probably forgot to talk about is that there was an external case as well between these two students, where the young man was going to court all the time. And it ended up that the case, I think it was thrown out because the young lady, I think, was not attending anymore or something like that. The gentleman was hired a year later after serving his 1 year punishment. Now, for me, I think he was punished for 1 year, and I think it's in the student records. I don't deal with student records. 1 year later, he's used as a student assistant. Now, as someone responsible for HR, I want to explain a student assistant is not an employee, because they don't get the contract of an employee. They are not counted as employees in the university. If you go to any university, you'll find that a student assistant can be as simple as...
What was the process that was used to hire this person like this?
Well, student assistants get recommended sometimes by the student affairs. Sometimes they get requested to come and assist based on their talent.
So
Yeah.
anybody, it's a discretion.
Many students are used based on the fact that they used to be student
So
leaders.
it's a discretion.
It could be a discretion, yes, sir.
No. So you guys, Vice Chancellor and Chair of Council, this is my problem. That you don't see anything wrong, that because this is a display of patronage. If you are saying, I can use my own discretion to bring in student assistants or whatever you call them, you are giving somebody unvetted rights to display patronage. No process. You just say, SRC, current SRC, you will also be former SRC, recommend these ones for now. And I'm going to take that particular decision. You don't see anything wrong. And by the way, you did not put any perspective. Whether that person went to court or not, the register, you had said this person was found guilty of something on a separate matter. Let's leave the court. And, to come and say, what is your position? COO, to come and say, this person has already been, what do you call this thing, punished. So what about that lady? Did you guys call him? Call her? Did you call her and check how she's doing? So it does not matter. This one, because this one is your faction, is part of your arrangement. You don't care about the other one. And that's where my problem is, acting VC, that you've got this, it's a bad attitude. It does not look good. It looks like, from somebody sitting out there, that you've got, it's bad that you guys are even men, that men are perpetuating this thing. They are in fact defending somebody that they know that was found guilty of GBV. And The story out there is that the victim was then chucked out of you. You are saying she left. That's your version. The version they have is different. That you guys made it impossible for her to stay there. She left. And who is defending her? It's this man. So it does not look good from where we are. Sorry, Honorable Christian.
No, thanks, Chairperson. I think you gave a lot of perspective there. And I'm very concerned that the HR manager came in and defended this. Okay.
No, I just want to know, the person we're talking about, the student, the guy who's not an employee, is he working, is his position in the registrar's office?
It's in the registrar's environment, yes.
So he's reporting to you?
No, not directly to me.
No, but you are
overall, I've got oversight, yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm intending to disrupt you. The discretion part, Chairperson, does it basically mean that you can wake up in the morning and just handpick a person without any due processes? Is it true in line with my understanding?
Thank you, Chair. No, it's a process of recommendations through the different levels, including HR, finance, etc. So it's not just through academic administration, myself, and then HR, then finance. Thank you, Chair. Chair, it's no. I'm sorry, Honourable Chair. I'm not laughing because of the question, Chair. It's a small university, so it's inevitable in terms of the staffing that's there. That this constitutes the whole executive management of the university. Thank you, Chair.
Jay, I just want to make a comment on, the HR manager said something very profound. The matter was taken from the university, it was taken outside. Why was it taken outside? Because the student was not receiving the required assistance from the university. She wrote emails saying, please assist me, and she was not getting that assistance. And eventually, when she was not getting the assistance, she stayed away from court proceedings. Because what woman wants to be subjected to that repeatedly, Chairperson? And then further to that, it has also come to light that the student was suspended. The student did not leave on her own. The student was suspended for apparently taking the matter to social media. There was then a disciplinary matter held at the university, and the university deemed it fit to suspend the student because she took the matter to social media. She took the matter to social media because she was not getting the required assistance from the university.
Thanks, Chair, and I try not to get involved in operational issues, but I just wish to assure the committee that we take GBV very serious as a new council. There's I'm not in any doubt about the seriousness of this plague that scourges our country at the moment. I have daughter-in-law, I've got women that are very close to me in my life, and this is something that's abhorrent. So as chairperson of council, we will commit that we will not create the culture that these perceptions go out, that we are a non-caring or uncaring university. Okay, so we will go back to this. This was, unfortunately, and this is a bad excuse, before our time, but we'll take this as an example to feed it back into our inculturation of sensitivity and relook at our policies. Because I don't want us to appear that we are defensive about these matters. We are not defensive. I'm sitting here and I'm cringing because as we proceed here, we look more and more defensive and we more and more portray a culture of not caring. So I can assure the committee that we will look at the policies, And if we had erred, we will fix it and we will admit to that, to the error, and take it as a learning going forward. But as a council, we are standing very, very strong on GBV. I don't want to leave you in any doubt about our intent and our culture that we would like to prevail at the university.
Thank you very much for that response. I think that is the most mature response we've received for the day. So thank you very much for that, because we do take gender-based violence very seriously in light of the month we are in and in light of the scourge the country is currently in. We cannot see our girl children going through this crisis anymore. We have to stop it. Chair, just lastly, I have a question about the NSFAS accommodation.